Welcome to our channel Real Story Animated. Today we will talk about Abdullah's grandfather, the father of Abdullah's mother. We're talking about the story of Abdullah's grandfather's life and why all the girls refused to marry him. If this is your first time watching this channel, do not forget to like and subscribe. Abdullah's grandfather was born in 1929. His name was Fauzi. He lived with his father. His father had large family. His father married 3 times and had 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. Fauzi was one of his boys. Fauzi's mother died when he was young, so he didn't remember her well. People at this time didn't give much merit to education, so his father didn't send him to school. In those days, being ignorant was very common. Fauzi was sent to work when he was 10. He worked many jobs until he settled to work in bakery. But Fauzi was working in giving money to his father and his brothers and sisters. But his brothers and sister did not do like Fauzi. His brothers and sisters managed to build houses for them. But Fauzi was unable to build anything because he was giving all his money to them. Abdullah does not know why his grandfather was doing this. But Fauzi loved his father and his brothers a lot, and he preferred them more than himself. Because of Fauzi's actions towards his siblings in the past, Abdullah's family doesn't have a house to live in now, they just rent an apartment. One day Fauzi saw a good girl and he wanted to marry her. He wanted to talk to her family, but she refused him because she thought he was ugly. For years Fauzi tried to get married, but he was rejected every time. He was 32 and unmarried. He decided to marry a divorced woman because he could not marry a girl who wasn't married before. Fauzi's friend told him about a divorced girl that was 17 years old and very beautiful named Bushra. He told Fauzi he should go to her family and ask them for Bushra's hand in marriage. Fauzi said she would refuse me if she saw me. So Fauzi sent his friend and his brother to ask her family her hand in marriage. Fauzi told them to say he was sick and couldn't come himself. His brother and his friend went to Bushra's family and told them Fauzi wanted to marry Bushra. Bushra agreed, although she didn't see Fauzi, who was 15 years older than her. But Bushra wanted to marry anyone because she wanted people to stop bad-mouthing her. They have set the date for marriage. Bushra didn't see Fauzi until her wedding day. She didn't care what he looked like because she still loved her ex-husband and refused to love Fauzi. Bushra had 6 Fauzi's children, 4 boys and 2 girls. All boys were in good health and they all survived their childhood because Bushra cared for them a lot. But since Bushra didn't love Fauzi, she fought with him a lot. Fights were so bad that their neighbors had to intervene to stop the fighting. This resulted in Fauzi leaving his house to live in his old family home. Bushra learned importance of education and decided to send her children to school. Fauzi disagreed and said that children should be put to work in that school and education isn't what's important. Bushra insisted and found a job to support her children going to school. Her children supported her and thought their father was the one who was in the wrong. But when the children grew up, they understood the problem and tried to fix it between Fauzi and Bushra. They told Bushra to forget the love of her ex-husband and love her husband Fauzi, but she refused. Fauzi moved into the same house with his wife after 45 years of living separately. Bushra was 62, and Fauzi was 77 at this time. 5 of their children were married and only youngest boy was not married yet. The youngest child was at work and Bushra wanted to go out to buy food. But Bushra is suffering from joint stiffness and rheumatism and have difficulties moving around and going out of the house. For this reason she allowed Fauzi to stay with her without fighting him. From that moment on, Fauzi took care of buying food for the house. Fauzi loved his wife Bushra. But she never loved Fauzi. Abdullah loved his grandfather Fauzi and his grandmother Bushra. He did not know all these problems. He learned all this when he asked his mother to tell him the story of his grandmother and grandfather. In the coming years, the youngest boy married and Bushra and Fauzi got 18 grandchildren from their 6 children. 12 years after that, Fauzi died at the age of 89, in January 2018. We all loved Fauzi and we were all sad. Bushra was happy because Fauzi died, that's what she was hoping for. But Bushra died only 6 months after her husband Fauzi at the age of 74. Abdullah was very sad he lost his beloved grandmother and grandfather in the same year. It was a sad year for the entire family. Tell me what you think about the story, and if you have a true story, leave it in the comments. Thank you for watching.